Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So as you guys know, we've been covering this whole LeBron James free agency period, right? And if you listen to the mainstream media, they will have you thinking that, you know, LeBron left the Lakers on his own terms. He's in the power seat right now. Teams are trying to reach out to him and all of this and all of that. And I'm like, wait a minute. None of this makes any sense, right? If LeBron had all of this demand in the marketplace, he'll be signed already, right? He would have got a max contract. You know, the max contract that he felt that the Lakers should have given him. Another team would have offered him that money by now. All the guys, the major guys, have picked up. They've already been picked up. All the guys that are getting paid a lot of money, they've already been paid. Just today, I heard that the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard are even in talks right now, talking about an extension. So the guys that are going to get signed are going to get signed, right? But nevertheless, the media was trying to spin it. ESPN especially, they've been lying their asses off for days, like 4 days. So we did a show on Saturday, and big shout out to Ric Bucher. And I think we probably got the most traction of this particular story on YouTube. I'm sure other people did. A lot of people did it as well. But on YouTube, I think we're the ones leading the way on this particular story here. And Ric Bucher essentially called out all the lies. He called out the lies to the point where now people like Shannon Sharpe are coming after Ric Bucher because he just told too much truth. And what you can't have in sports media, especially people on TV, is truth tellers. So we want to play what Rick said originally, because this is what Shannon Sharpe was attacking yesterday. Take a listen to Ric Bucher's original comments that we played on the channel.
All right, before I go, I do want to touch on the LeBron James situation because I've been wondering how this was going to play out ever since the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic and it became clear that they were ready to move on without LeBron unless he was willing to swallow a huge slice of humble pie along with a massive pay cut to stay in a Lakers uniform. How does someone who has had the incredible career that LeBron has had make an exit that befits who he has been all these years? Graceful exits, after all, have not been his thing. I had to smile when it was reported that LeBron had informed the Lakers he didn't intend to play for them next year, as if the Lakers weren't already planning for that to be the case. But kudos to the Lakers for allowing LeBron to present it that way and preserve some dignity on the way out. The Rich Paul propaganda about contacting every team in the league to determine the interest in LeBron is just window dressing. If teams were interested, he wouldn't have to reach out to them. It's a sign that LeBron and Rich are struggling with the new reality, which is that LeBron simply isn't valued the way he once was. He does not have the leverage he once did. Which is not an indictment. No one is going to invest in a player who is turning 42 years old next season and comes with all the outsized attention and servicing that LeBron does. The only place that makes any sense is for him to return to Cleveland, where it all began. I can see the Cavaliers entertaining that because A, they have a very good team, but LeBron's playmaking and experience could give them a boost. And B, there isn't a player or personality currently there that is bigger than him. If he goes to Golden State, he is joining Steph Curry's team. And while it wouldn't be exactly like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors because they are no longer a championship caliber team, it would have the same aroma. We can argue all day long about who the bigger star is. Not the better player, but the bigger star. But we can't argue about the hierarchy. In the Bay Area, Steph was always bigger than KD no matter what he did, and the same would be true with LeBron. I seriously doubt LeBron wants to live that reality. If he did, he would have been more amenable to staying in LA. I also have no doubt that Pat Riley would entertain bringing LeBron back if he thought it would give the Miami Heat a better chance of winning. But this isn't LeBron going to join Chris Bosh and one of his best friends, Dwayne Wade, at the height of his power. This is joining Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo, two relative strangers, two guys who don't feel any particular allegiance to LeBron, two guys who are the true core of what the Heat are trying to build. LeBron would be an add-on, a complementary piece. Giannis has even thrown some shade LeBron's way by saying he's never been interested in joining a super team, that doing so is the easy way to chase a title. All of which is why going back to Cleveland makes the most sense, to find some semblance of a swan song that is worthy of LeBron's career. Thomas Wolfe wrote a famous book titled You Can't Go Home Again, which is about how returning to where we started can never be the same, because over time we change as people and the place we're from changes as well. All of which is true about LeBron and Cleveland, or the Cavs. But LeBron has broken so many precedents, maybe, just maybe, he can pull this off too.
Great. So you heard what Rick had to say there, right? And what he said made sense. And if you think about what he said based on everything that's occurred, it's true. Well, Shannon Sharpe took this podcast last night on Nightcap to go after Ric Bucher for essentially telling the truth about the LeBron James Lakers breakup. So I want to play Shannon Sharpe's response to Ric Bucher here, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Shannon here.
Acquired Luka, and he finds it funny his exit was framed as LeBron telling the Lakers he was leaving. Wow, Rick, you're breaking news. I mean, that a way to go out on a limb. So let me ask you a question: if they didn't get Luka, we understand that LeBron does not have the same cachet at 41, almost 42 he had at 25.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Bucher, and Rick was on Undisputed. If they the same age, are they getting rid of LeBron?
Nope.
So you make it seem it's like any work employment. More times than not, what happens, Ocho? The younger guy takes the older guy's spot.
So it's been that way.
That's just the way it is.
Always been that way. Sports, corporate world, business.
Nobody is under the impression that LeBron James, at almost 42 years of age, is the same player. He's not. I've never said that, and I've been one of his staunchest supporters. I know he's not. And Luka, it should be Luka's team. Everybody knew that. We knew that was what they wanted. They was hoping AD was going to be able to be that bridge, because when Kobe retired, as Kobe started getting hurt, and he ends up retiring, they didn't have a bridge. Because see, they had a bridge from Kareem to Magic. Because you think about how it worked out. They had West and they had Chamberlain. They had Elgin Baylor. And then they had Jerry West. And then they get Chamberlain. And then you get Kareem. And then you get Magic. And you get Worthy. And then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, here comes Shaq and Kobe. And Shaq leaving. You still got Kobe. And you got Powell. And then they didn't have anything to fill that gap in. And then you got LeBron. And they say, you know what? We got LeBron for several years. But now we got AD. And AD will be the bridge. AD couldn't stay healthy. So now it's like, we really need somebody. The Lakers, you gotta have a star. That's the only way it works in LA. You gotta have a star. They've always had it. It's Tinseltown. So now they have their star for the next, if he can stay healthy, for the next 7-10 years.
He got some pressure on his ass.
I can't blame him. Who faulting the Lakers for the decision that they made? I want to know who in their right mind faulting the Lakers. Nobody. But him going out of this notion ever since they acquired. Wow. You know what, Ocho?
Yeah.
Shannon had planned on retiring ever since he won the lottery. No ish. Of course. You win $500 million. Yeah. Ever since he won the lottery, he planned on retiring. Yep, you're absolutely right. I did. So I mean, look. He's never been a LeBron fan, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I think, to go out here and try to frame it like this, he just tell them, I'm not coming back. They knew that. They had offered him something. Look, I don't know in the sense now that LeBron would take, minimum, whatever the case may be. LeBron knew there was not he knew there was not 30, 40, $50 million out there for him. Best case scenario, you're talking about maybe 15, maybe somebody could give you 20, maybe. But if you get 20, you're not going to be able to go anywhere and win. But the most was 15. That's max.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that.
You think he knew that?
Yes. Now, he probably could go somewhere, a Sacramento, and get big bucks. But that's just a ticket draw. You're not finna win.
The only reason why I say that because when I think about LeBron, Uncle Ocho, I really don't think he thinks it's a player out there that's better than him or more cerebral than him, more important than him if you add him to it.
There's not. But you don't get to determine your value. Somebody else does.
Yes.
So when people keep saying, "Oh, I know my value," your values are based on what someone is willing to pay for it.
Yeah, and most of the time, the value that.
Great. So you heard what Shannon had to say. What are my thoughts? These people want to control the narrative to the point that there cannot be any dissenting opinions. There cannot be any opinions out there that stray from the narrative that they're trying to weave and have people believe. If you listen to every other person covering the story, they're just spinning it. We even did a show, I believe, on Saturday exposing all of the media lies from people like Sham and Brian Windhorst, where they were clearly contradicting each other. Clearly contradicting each other. We pulled up all the receipts using quotes from them. Not anonymous quotes or what I'm saying. We're using their own quotes that basically are diametrically opposed to the stories that they're saying now. For instance, at one point, Brian Windhorst said, "Oh, the Lakers and LeBron in communication, they're negotiating a contract." And then Shams comes out and says, "Since free agency is open, there's been no it's a mess." And what all of this is damage control. Let's just call it what it is. This is damage control. And the reason they're going after Rick, let me tell you why they're going after Ric Bucher versus someone like me. You think all of these guys, we don't see each other's videos? Come on, man. Everybody knows everybody here. No matter if they want to say your name or not is irrelevant. We all know everybody here. If Mace can give us a shout out and he's saying, if Mace is seeing us, everybody's seeing us. But they're not going to respond to me, nor do I care if they do. But they're not going to respond to me because I'm not like, a verified name. I didn't used to work on TV and stuff like that. So they'll let me give my opinions, but as long as it's not coming from a verified source, someone that was on TV and stuff like that, they kind of let it go. But if a person like Ric Bucher says something, they attack him. Because given the fact that Ric Bucher has a lot of credibility, when he speaks, it brings credibility to his story. And that's what they don't want. That's the reason they're going after Ric Bucher. That is the bloody reason. They don't want any dissenting opinions whatsoever. They want to control the narrative from start to finish. And today you're just going to see countless minion after minion going out there trying to basically blanket social media with this narrative. But people like Ric Bucher saying, no, it's not true. LeBron fans are losing their minds. They are losing their minds because they cannot handle the amount of embarrassment that LeBron is going through. Regardless of all of the spin that people at ESPN and all of these various networks are doing, we all know the truth. And the truth is, no teams are really reaching out to LeBron. When you have Rich Paul, his agent, bringing out a whiteboard and essentially describing different scenarios for where LeBron James could potentially land, and talking about LeBron's enterprise value and how if I'm Jalen Brunson, I'm calling LeBron James. Like, it's embarrassing at this point because they're essentially begging. They're going on TV doing segments talking about destinations, about like Dallas and where these teams have made they've made no requests for LeBron whatsoever. And you know what? I want to say this quickly because I was thinking about it yesterday. You remember when Russell Westbrook, before he left the Lakers, how people like Dave McMenamin were calling him a locker room vampire and all of that stuff. And then the Clippers signed him. And it was like, wow, we love his personality and his leadership. Then he goes to Denver and Nikola Jokic was actually requesting him. And everybody's saying they love Russell Westbrook. Why aren't there any NBA stars publicly requesting LeBron James? Where are these stars that are publicly recruiting LeBron James? Where are they? Where are they? For all of this value, why aren't teams knocking on his door to offer him a max contract? What team is going to offer him a max contract? There are no teams. This is what they don't want to tell you. Where are these teams that are offering max money? Where are the teams? Name the teams. There are no teams. There is no market. But that's what they're trying to have people believe. But one person that called it out that's making a lot of waves was Ric Bucher. And we did a show about it this weekend. For those of you who don't remember, take a listen to what Ric Bucher had to say about this story that LeBron left the Lakers, when in reality, the Lakers dumped him a long time ago. Take a listen to Ric Bucher here.
All right, before I go, I do want to touch on the LeBron James situation because I've been wondering how this was going to play out ever since the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic and it became clear that they were ready to move on without LeBron unless he was willing to swallow a huge slice of humble pie along with a massive pay cut to stay in a Lakers uniform. How does someone who has had the incredible career that LeBron has had make an exit that befits who he has been all these years? Graceful exits, after all, have not been his thing. I had to smile when it was reported that LeBron had informed the Lakers he didn't intend to play for them next year, as if the Lakers weren't already planning for that to be the case. But kudos to the Lakers for allowing LeBron to present it that way and preserve some dignity on the way out. The Rich Paul propaganda about contacting every team in the league to determine the interest in LeBron is just window dressing. If teams were interested, he wouldn't have to reach out to them. It's a sign that LeBron and Rich are struggling with the new reality, which is that LeBron simply isn't valued the way he once was. He does not have the leverage he once did, which is not an indictment. No one is going to invest in a player who is turning 42 years old next season and comes with all the outsized attention and servicing that LeBron does. The only place that makes any sense is for him to return to Cleveland, where it all began. I can see the Cavaliers entertaining that because A, they have a very good team, but LeBron's playmaking and experience could give them a boost. And B, there isn't a player or personality currently there that is bigger than him. If he goes to Golden State, he is joining Steph Curry's team. And while it wouldn't be exactly like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors because they are no longer a championship caliber team, it would have the same aroma. We can argue all day long about who the bigger star is. Not the better player, but the bigger star. But we can't argue about the hierarchy. In the Bay Area, Steph was always bigger than KD no matter what he did, and the same would be true with LeBron. I seriously doubt LeBron wants to live that reality. If he did, he would have been more amenable to staying in LA. I also have no doubt that Pat Riley would entertain bringing LeBron back if he thought it would give the Miami Heat a better chance of winning. But this isn't LeBron going to join Chris Bosh and one of his best friends, Dwayne Wade, at the height of his power. This is joining Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo, two relative strangers, two guys who don't feel any particular allegiance to LeBron, two guys who are the true core of what the Heat are trying to build. LeBron would be an add-on, a complementary piece. Giannis has even thrown some shade LeBron's way by saying he's never been interested in joining a super team, that doing so is the easy way to chase a title. All of which is why going back to Cleveland makes the most sense, to find some semblance of a swan song that is worthy of LeBron's career. Thomas Wolfe wrote a famous book titled You Can't Go Home Again, which is about how returning to where we started can never be the same because over time we change as people and the place we're from changes as well. All of which is true about LeBron and Cleveland, or the Cavs. But LeBron has broken so many precedents, maybe, just maybe, he can pull this off too.
Fantastic. So you heard what Ric Bucher had to say. Well, one of LeBron's friends, and we did a live about him, decided to go after Ric Bucher directly. So let me show you what the gentleman said. His account is 73&9, and they lied. Let me see if I can show you his full page. He's the head of content and ghostwriter for ESPN and most of your favorite sports networks. Legend before Twitter, at Fox Sports Radio, co-host of Straight to the League. I think it's a podcast, right? So let me show you what he said. He posted this yesterday. It said, "This clown been hating on LeBron his entire career. We know what you really are, Ricky. Find a new shtick, bum Bucher." So I'm just trying to figure this out. If he is a hater, what is Nick Wright? What's Kendrick Perkins? What are you? What's Shannon Sharpe? What's all of these other twerking ass people that sit up there and twerk it up all over the table and pour honey all over each other's asses? Huh? You guys be bumping into each other in the hallway and honey sparks is sparkling all over the place, knocking over people, knocking over kids, just shaking it up. Every time you guys walk in the room, honey starts pouring on the floor. You guys can't even dap each other up because if you do, it'll end up being a sticky situation. But you talking, I'm confused. All the LeBron media did was hate on everybody favorite players. Dog. That's all they did. What you crying for? All y'all is a bunch of hating ass. That's all y'all is, man. Starting from the top to the bottom. Starting from y'all king all the way down. All y'all is a bunch of haters. You pull up the videos of Michael Jordan's agent trashing other NBA. Pull up the videos, my pull them up. Since you want to be on Twitter crying. Where are these videos? Where are the podcasts of Michael Jordan's agent taking shots at other? Where are these podcasts at? Where's the videos of Michael Jordan's agent talking about, well, you know, Michael Jordan was raised in a father and home with a father and son and mother and Kobe Bryant. Like, what are you, y'all gotta miss me. Y'all need to get out the way, bro. All y'all do is everybody's favorite players and then want to act like the victim. Where was all of this when the LeBron James hate machine was destroying Russell Westbrook's market value? Where was all of this at? But now you want to go after Ric Bucher because somebody that has some cachet said something that didn't go along with y'all lies, and now all of a sudden he public enemy number one. Y'all can go kick rocks. And I said it. Y'all can go kick rocks. Y'all gonna have to deal with it. Y'all in no position to be complaining about who hating. As you know what Ric Bucher is, we know what y'all are as well. Why don't Nick Wright go give back all of those millions of dollars he made hating on Michael Jordan? Nick Wright's most viral video on YouTube is of him hating on Michael Jordan and saying some stupid. So how about that? Since y'all want to go at Ric Bucher, I'm coming at y'all. They be LeBron fans always trying to act like they victims when all y'all do is hate on everybody else. You didn't sing LeBron fan make fun of players from the past. And y'all ain't got nothing to say. But now all of a sudden we know what you are. And we know what y'all are too. Today we're going to be talking about hating ass Rich Paul and Clutch Sports and their whole movement, man. Because that's all they do is hate, man. But now it looks like Max Kellerman himself had to push back a little bit. As you guys know, Rich Paul and Max Kellerman got a podcast together called Game Over, right? And their most viral clips is of them hating on other players. Like the recent one that Rich Paul said, which was when he was talking, but that wasn't on this podcast, but in general, talking about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant grew up with parents, so therefore they're selfish. But LeBron, he only grew up in a one-parent household, so therefore he's not selfish. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, what are we like? Yo, what are we doing? Like, who is it? Who mans is this, bro? Like, who mans is this? What is he talking about? Right? Like, this is where they at. All they do is hate. So recently there was a segment on their show where Rich Paul had to essentially respond to Max Kellerman saying that LeBron is always making moves because he's obsessed with passing Michael Jordan. Like, we're all sitting here because we're obsessed with Michael Jordan. This is like their whole obsession. And things got pretty awkward because Rich Paul tried to push back and it looked pretty weird. Take a look at this exchange here.
LeBron, and by extension the people around him, for good reason, is very interested in his legacy and supplanting Michael Jordan. And I think every little piece of evidence that you could marshal, especially when he's this old and could win a championship somewhere, Max, and improve his, first of all, I think that would be important to him.
There's no supplanting Michael Jordan because that don't even matter. Because the people that are rooting for or against, they don't really have a say in anything. If there's a conversation between Michael and LeBron, let them have a conversation. But
the way it's framed for years and years and years.
I understand what you're saying, but here's the problem with all of that. And this is where I can't speak for every athlete, but when you've accomplished what he's accomplished, it don't matter what nobody else thinks but him and his family. That's the only people that matter in this situation. To me, this is just me. And I'm a part of the inner circle.
I totally agree with that. But he shouldn't. But I get the feeling, not to the extent that like KD is obsessed with it. I'm not saying he's in that boat. But I get the sense through certain things he said through the years that it is important to him and he would like to be thought of that way. And by the way, it stands to reason. Who wouldn't want to be?
But you know, it's like comments on social media, right? If you just read comments on social media, there's going to be 50 positive comments. There's going to be 150 negative comments.
You feel like he gets more negative than positive?
I don't know. I don't look at it. But when you do look at it,
certainly I'll say this. To be LeBron James, the ratio should be 1,000 positive to 1 negative. No one's perfect. Everyone has negative stuff. But the fact that he has to experience a world where it's like close to 50-50 must feel absurd to him.
But even those people, think about it. If you just unplug the impact, what would that mean for you? That mean you would be bored at the barbershop, you'd be bored in the backyard, at the barbecue. You'd be, like it's all actually positive. Mm-hmm. None of it is actually really negative. It's actually all positive because you actually need both.
Thank God for sports. That's all I have.
That's
to
what
say.
I'm saying. You actually need both. And so, but all I was saying to you is, as an athlete, when you are making decisions that, in the grand scheme of things, the most affected is going to be you. Worrying about narratives and worrying about someone else's opinion and things like that, that can't deter your decision that's going to be best for you.
I agree. I don't think it should, but I think it gets factored in.
Yeah, I think that it is good for sports to have critique. It's good for sports to have opinions. It's good for sports to have...
Wait a minute. Look, wait. I want to contradict what you said just then. I want to offer some contradictory evidence.
Go ahead.
You said that had the Knicks not won, he'd have been in New York, but they did. And so that, I understand that. I get it because if they hadn't won a championship and you could put them over,
well, that's
the fact that they did, the narrative would be, look at him glomming. I get it.
That's me saying that with the understanding of what the conversations have always been as kids. You know, you talking about different things, and I'm saying that in a very like.
In other words, LeBron always kind of wanted to play in New York.
If me and you talk,
are you saying LeBron always wanted to play in New York?
Hear me out. So, because sometimes this stuff is taken a little out of context. But if me and you are talking, and I'm like, man, if it wasn't for that, that wouldn't even been a thing. We wouldn't even be. I'm saying it in that context of things, because when you think about it, if you now it may be now obviously it's too late today, but just thinking back, it's a match made in heaven.
In heaven,
you know, when you talk about just the height of the person, the media market that is, the consumer perspective of things, all those different things.
The day of the decision, I knew that the Knicks were a kind of mess and all that stuff, but I thought he has to be coming to the Knicks because if LeBron James wins a championship in New York City, when he chose the Heat, I was doing a radio show, Max Kellerman show, ESPN, at a Penn Plaza right above the Garden. And I bumped into Clyde Frazier that day. It was the morning, and we went to get breakfast. We just sat together and ate and commiserated over the fact that he didn't choose the Knicks. Like, people were so sad in all these markets that he didn't choose. But anyway, I brought up that whole thing to say, it's common sense why you said what you said about he'd be in the Knicks, because LeBron James, the New York market, the whole thing, but they won a championship. What would that mean for the narrative? So when you say, the reason I brought it up is because when you say, yeah, but why should he care about any of the external stuff? Because it exists.
But what I'm saying is that's a different narrative. I'm talking about the the malice narratives, like this, it's kind of like the negative, people trying to place the negativity within narratives. Like I just,
So the Celtics.
So you saw it there. Look, let me just tell you this. For as much as LeBron fans like to talk about, LeBron James himself, his fans, his inner circle are obsessed with Michael Jordan. They are obsessed with him. Their whole purpose is trying to convince the world that LeBron is a better basketball player than Mike. That is their whole goal in life. Everything they do is towards that goal. Even Nick Wright. Everything he says comes back to that point. Shannon Sharpe. That's what they all do. They have this obsession with trying to convince people that their guy is somehow a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. Look at how many times Rich Paul has talked about Michael Jordan on his podcast. Look at the amount of times that that people like Nick Wright have trolled Michael Jordan. Look at the fan base. We're done with the 90s. They're doing this. The LeBron fans are the only ones that think this GOAT debate is a real thing. Everybody else doesn't. They're the only. Do you realize LeBron fans are the only ones that think LeBron is the greatest player of all time? All other NBA players don't feel the same. All the other NBA players, NBA player fan bases, they don't think that. It's just this group. And they are obsessed with it. Every single day, week, month, they're always bringing up this GOAT debate. Always bringing it up. Always bringing it up. They just can't help themselves. Even Shannon Sharpe is trying to turn himself into a victim. Oh, man, why you always getting at LeBron James, man? Why you always get... Wasn't he the same one on ESPN? They'll be talking about a random topic. Well, all I know is that somebody in Washington, D.C. couldn't do that. Somebody in Chicago. This is what they do. They're obsessed. And Rich Paul is over there trying to front like, no, we not. No, y'all are. Y'all really are. And the reason that they're obsessed with Jordan is because they know they haven't been able to convince anyone outside their fans that he's on the same level as Michael Jordan. That's why they're still at it. Why is LeBron still playing? Going on, 24, 25 years? Still trying to catch Michael Jordan? Are you serious? If LeBron was a senior in high school, he'd be like a super senior. Like a super duper senior, bro. Like, are you serious? Michael Jordan went to school, graduated on time. LeBron got left back every single year. But his fans, wait a minute, isn't it impressive? No, man. You still at it? You still trying to catch Jordan? 4 titles in 24 years is nasty work. It's nasty work. It's just insane. And they think, oh, it shows nothing. Jordan had 12 opportunities with the Bulls. 12. And he got 6. LeBron is going on 24 opportunities. 24. And only sitting on 4 rings? And y'all want people to clap for that? Man, y'all better knock it off, man. Like, these guys, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. It has to be said that ESPN is absolutely embarrassing itself. It has to be said that this is absolutely, like, this is becoming disgraceful at this point. It's becoming disgraceful how much these guys are, how much they're lying to essentially save this guy's image. They all know that LeBron James is currently unsigned. Nobody's really making any real indication that they want him. Like, otherwise, if they wanted him, he would already be signed. But the fact of the matter is, he's not. And they're trying to spin it and make it seem like, oh man, he left the Lakers on his own terms, and LeBron is the one that was sitting in the berth. It's all BS. It's all BS. The fact of the matter is, the league is moving on. And no one wants to admit it. The league is moving on. If LeBron was a priority, he would already be on a team. Seriously. If he was a priority, he would already be on a team. but he's not a priority, right? No teams are actually making a push for this guy. No matter how much they try to spin it and make it seem like it's this and make it seem like it's that, no one has actually reached out there and said, hey, we want you. Well, it looks like Ramona Shelburne is out here still trying to do damage control. And now she's trying to paint it like as if LeBron James broke up with the Lakers before they could break up with him. I'm like, this is becoming embarrassing. So we have a few posts here. The first one is from League Alerts. It says, LeBron James broke up with the Lakers before they could break up with him. Ramona Shelburne. It said the Lakers pitched to Luka Doncic before the extension was clear. They need to use the 52.6 million salary slot LeBron James occupied to pursue younger and more complementary pieces around him. LeBron got out ahead of the split. The other one, this is from Full Court Pass, and it says this. LeBron James broke up with the Lakers before they could break up with him. He says the Lakers pitch to Luka was, okay, so that was actually her quote, right? I thought it was just a comment. That was actually her quote. This is all nonsense. He didn't get out from them before they got out from him. No. What happened was since last year, the Lakers made it clear they didn't want him back. And we all know this. The Lakers allowed him to pick up the last year of his option. They didn't offer an extension. So it had been clear from the Lakers side for over a year. All these people know this. They all know this. But LeBron thought, I don't know, I'm going to play and show you guys my value. Maybe whatever he thought he did in the playoffs leading the Lakers, he thought that, oh, that would be enough to prove his value. And the Lakers said, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And you can owe a lot of this to you can chalk a lot of this up to the new ownership, Mark Walters, who said, no, we're not signing old players anymore. We're done with this. You've been in the NBA for 23 years. If you haven't accomplished what you need to accomplish by now, then you can move on. And that's what they did. They showed him the door. And what all these people are trying to make it seem like is like, no, he should. How could he broke up with them when they didn't offer him anything? It's like breaking up with someone that you're not in a relationship with. How do you do that? The relationship was over since last year. He knew this. Now, maybe they thought they would come around and see the light and say, hey, here's some money. The Lakers said, no. We're going to focus on prioritizing young talent, which is what they did by signing players like Austin Reeves. And then they went out there and made a bevy of acquisitions. Just yesterday, they said they told Rui Hachimura they were not going to extend his contract. And now today he signed a new contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. They moved on. So all of this here is just damage control. And his fan base is hoping and wishing that the Lakers fail next year. Even some of LeBron's friends in basketball that talk sports, they're all taking a shot at the Lakers. If Stephen A, they're not white and all. This is all just nonsense. The Lakers are going to be a good team next year. And we all know this. Certainly I do. That's why I said they're going to be a top 4 seed. That's why I said that. So now the number one target from the LeBron James fan base is going to be going after Luka Doncic. That's their number one goal. Because they want to be spiteful. They cannot believe that the Lakers told this guy bye-bye. And do you know who's celebrating? The fan base. It is nothing but total elation from the fan base. Laker Nation is celebrating that LeBron is gone. They are in full celebration mode. Full-blown celebration. To the point where even former Laker, and I kid you not, former Laker Derek Fisher himself can't even believe just how much Laker Nation is celebrating the fact that LeBron James is gone. He can't even seem to understand it. There was a video that went viral of Derek Fisher on 97.1 fan, I think is a LA sports show, where he was talking about he doesn't understand why Laker fans are so excited about this. And then somebody else who I think is hosting the show basically comes out and says, we're excited because of X, Y, and Z. Take a look at the video here. Take a look.
Not totally surprised. We obviously have been talking a lot about the possibility of LeBron not returning to the Lakers. I think there's a lot of sentiment from fans around like jubilation and celebration. And while I respect the opinion of anybody, I'm confused at why the celebration is so strong for a player that helped win championships for the team. Because I don't know what other superstar player in the NBA, other than, again, Steph Curry, maybe in the last 8 years, that has accomplished more than what LeBron has helped the Lakers accomplish. So, wish him the best. I know the Lakers still have a bright future. I'm not going to cry about LeBron going somewhere else, but let's be careful how we treat our stars when they've done so much for us.
I say good riddance. Get out of Dodge, go up to San Francisco, enjoy your time, because I'm exactly the opposite of D-Fish. I have not enjoyed the LeBron era because it never felt like a Laker team. It felt like a LeBron James team. And
So you saw that there. That's the fan base. They're so happy that this guy is gone. So happy. And I'm pretty sure the Lakers internally are celebrating too.